If you have challenging news, or let's just call it bad news, the more general the reason you give for it, the less credibility you have. If you're an emerging franchise founder, you already know this. The jump from 10 to 100 units is where most brands stall out. Not because the concept isn't strong, but because the founder is drowning in chaos. I'm Guy Coffey, franchisor, franchisee, and growth strategist. I've been where you are, and I know what it takes to build a brand that scales without burning out, selling out, or losing control. That's why I created the Franchise Scaleup Show. Every week, I'll share the playbooks, the red flags, and the mindset shifts that separate the brands that stall from the ones that scale. So if you're serious about protecting your vision and multiplying your brand, hit subscribe right now. This is the Franchise Scaleup Show. I'm Guy Coffey. Let's get to work. I just got back from a board meeting in a fancy private equity office. It was my first one in office, and I learned a few things there by having conversations with the folks in the building. So the first thing is the perception of private equity being ruthless and all-knowing is wrong. And there was a couple things that pointed that out to me. I was asking one of the board members why the format for the reporting in the meeting was the same across all their platforms. And his first answer was, well, because we found that companies were able to hide things that we should have been made aware of if we didn't have this all-encompassing format and asset in the way that we do. And so I never thought of private equity as like being worried about someone pulling something over on them. I just always kind of put them up on the pedestal and thought, well, they're gonna know everything. And the other thing was they had the coolest sign in a private area restroom. It's called Lessons from the Loo, and it was a little micro summary of 10 deals where they had lost money, and then a little summary of things to look for that might indicate fraud in a company. And I thought that was amazingly transparent that, yeah, we don't always get it right, but here's what we learned from each of these things. So they are not all knowing and ruthless and wrong and all those kind of things. If that's what people are thinking sometimes, depends. Different people have different, opinions. And I think a lot of them are ill-informed. Because they've never dealt directly with private equity yet. The second thing I learned is in reporting, there's tons of good news and there's some challenging news. And one of the themes that came out for me in this and listening to the presentations is if you have challenging news, or let's just call it bad news, the more general the reason you give for it, the less credibility you have. If someone says, oh, sales were down because of the government shutdown that's been going on for, as of this date, like 29 days or something like that. Okay, that could very well be the case. But the next questions that come onto somebody's mind are, how is that affecting us? Is it because the SBA is shut down and there's no new lending? Or is it because you think people are worried and they're not spending money on these services? Like, say what your hypothesis is, and then also say like, and here's what we're doing about it. So I think if you have bad news, get as specific as possible on like why that bad news is affecting you. And then also come up with something that you're going to do to try to overcome it one way or the other. Even if it's like no small business owner is going to like be able to get the government going again. I get that. But what are we doing in our communications to say like, hey, remember, this has happened before. Like, don't worry about it. Let's move forward with life. And, whatever the thing you have for sale is, plug it, just at least adjust your communications. This is a quick break to thank you for listening. Every week, we are getting more and more people listening to the show, and this growth is helping me to improve it and make it even more helpful to you. My intention for this show is to help more people win in business and life. To that end, I have a favor to ask. If you know of an entrepreneur that would benefit, please hit the share button and shoot them a text with the link. Back to the show. Make this a great day. And the last thing, this is more of a general thing, is that surroundings do matter. So at this office, it was, an elevator ride to the top floor. The surroundings were beautiful. The detail and everything was beautiful. Everything had its order. Everything was in its right place. And someone could say, wow, they must be making too much money. It's like, no, everything in that office and everything that was built there and in other places was, if you look at it this way, it was built on them providing value to other people. Like, no one gets rich just by charging a lot. Like, you have to provide value. And since this firm has been around since 1988, this is not a flash in the pan kind of thing. They are here to stay. And they obviously provide a lot of value. And I saw all that fanciness and just top quality, everything, as a testament to their standards and to the fact that they provided so much value that they can do this and have no issue, with spending the money on it. And those are the types of people and the types of companies that you want to be around, for sure. Like, if they've been around a long time and their level of surroundings is real, it's not on borrowed money or something like that. Those are the kinds of companies that stick around. They're also the kinds of companies that attract people that are going to be of high quality, and surroundings matter. It's like, yeah. And this is a private equity company. So they're also having to attract investors, and, people with a lot of money are used to nice surroundings and used to being in that kind of environment. And you show them into a room that's not to their standards, and they're not going to have a ton of trust. So I think, to a degree, at this business, it's important to have those surroundings. And I look at it as a testament to success that they've provided to other people, which they've gotten paid for. So surroundings do matter. I haven't met anybody that's not a professional in that kind of design area that's as good as someone that works in that design area. So hire the right people, and be proud of your surroundings, and make sure that you can be proud of them, because it does say something about you, whether you like it or not. It's a fact. So those are 3 things. To sum it up, surroundings matter. It's a reflection of your standards and your success. If you have bad news to share, give a specific reason for it and what you're doing about it, even when the solution isn't in place yet. And then also realize, if you're going down the path with private equity and they're asking for this and that and this and in the same, in particular formats, it's because they've been burned before. And this is a way for them to fill up that gap and make sure that that doesn't happen again, because like everybody else, they're susceptible to getting duped, and they've got a lot of people's money on the line, so they don't want to do that again. So reframe all those requests from, wow, they're just asking for it in this particular format because they're trying to flex their muscles or something, to, this must have happened to them before and they like it in this format for that reason. So 3 things I learned at my big day at the private equity company. Hope it helps. That wraps up today's episode of the Franchise Scale-Up Show. If this gave you a strategy you can put into play, please share it with one founder who needs the help. You might save them months of pain. If you're ready to go deeper, whether it's building your support infrastructure, accelerating territory sales, or preparing for private equity, go to guycoffey.com. That's GUYCOFFEY, and book a free franchise growth strategy call. I only partner with founders who are committed to scaling without losing control. If that's you, I'd love to connect. Until next time, protect your vision, move fast, and scale smart. I'm Guy Coffey. Talk soon.